Thank you. Good morning. Have you heard of the Cumnor Way? Are you sure? I believe you. I only heard about it recently, very recently, when I was invited to come and speak to you. And what I heard about it, I love. Because, tell me if I'm wrong, I believe it's about courage, compassion, belief, endeavour, integrity. What have I missed? Thank you. I love it. The only thing is, I wish it wasn't just the Cumnor Way. I wish it was the world way. The world way. Can you imagine if 7.5 billion, I think that's what it is, 7.5 billion people on this planet woke up every morning and went to bed and put their head on the pillow every night with courage, compassion, belief, endeavour and integrity. Can you imagine? The world's already incredible. Can you imagine if everybody lived the Cumnor Way? I used to wish a lot. I still wish. But when I was a 6-year-old boy, I know it was a long time ago, forgive me. When I was a 6-year-old boy, any 6-year-olds here? Few there? When I was your age, I wished I was 10. Anybody wish they were 10? No? When I was 6, I wished I was 10. I just wanted to be a bit bigger. When I was 10, I wanted to be 13. I wanted to be a teenager. 13. When I was 13, I wanted to be 17. Because I could drive, I could learn to drive. When I was 17, I wanted to be 21. Because then I'd be a man. So they told me. Now I'm 57. And I want to be 6 again. Or 10. Or 13. Because I've learned so much. And I wish I had that knowledge, just some of that knowledge when I was your ages. I know you've heard this from your parents, you've heard it from your teachers, but I'm here to share some ideas with you. Some of them might be a bit crazy. I have a bag of tricks here. I've learned a lot of stuff. Anybody got one of these at home? Not a toy one, a real one. This is a hamster. Who's got a hamster? Hands up. A few of you? When I was a small boy, I never had a hamster, but my son did. My son's all grown up now. He's 27 years old, but when he was, I think, 4 or 5 years old, he had a hamster. And I learned a lot from that hamster. My son's name was Reese. He loved the hamster. I loved the hamster. But here's what I learned. Put your hands up again if you've got a hamster. Do you notice what they do? They sleep all day. And they run around all night long. Have you noticed? All night. They keep you awake. And when they're not sleeping or running around, what do? They eat. When I used to watch this hamster, my son's hamster, I say we both loved him, I used to think, what do they think about all day? What do these hamsters think about? What's going through their minds? Do they even think? The hamsters think? I'm sure they do. But how do they think? How do you think? I want to try a little experiment with you. In a moment, not yet, but in a moment, I'm going to ask you, each of you, to close your eyes. Not yet, stay with me. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, and then when I ask you to, I want you to stop thinking for 15 seconds. You don't have to worry about the time. I'm going to count the time. All right? Everybody clear? Can you close your eyes? And stop thinking now. Okay, you can open your eyes. Hands up if you stop thinking. What about over here? Anybody stop thinking? Oh my word, here? So many people stopped. Did you stop thinking, Miss Edwards? I've tried, if you did, congratulations. I've tried thousands of times. Thousands of times I've tried to stop thinking. And I haven't been able to. I don't know how you can stop thinking. You see, we're thinking all day long. But how many of us stop to think about the way we're thinking? I like to look at it like this. Here's a jar, just a jar of water. But in it is some earth from my garden, my back garden. And you can see it's nice and still, but if I shake this up, look at that. It's cloudy, it's messy, it's all jumbled up. The clear water, the water, for me, represents our minds. I believe that the brain is made up of something like 70% water anyway. So think about that. We have this incredible gift of the mind, and then we have all these thoughts. We're thinking all day long, aren't we? We're so busy being busy, most of us, just thinking. So wouldn't it be great if every now and again we just stopped, just for a few seconds, to ask ourselves, what am I thinking in this moment? Am I really aware of my thoughts? What am I thinking? And are my thoughts helping me to be the best that I can, to live with those values? Am I heading in that direction? Or are my thoughts holding me back? So sometimes, imagine this. 15 seconds, 4 times a day, that's a minute, 1 minute. Can you imagine, of your day, we have 1,414 minutes in a day. Imagine if you just took 1 minute, 15 seconds, 4 times, just to stop and say to yourself, in the quiet of your own mind, what am I thinking? And how those thoughts making me feel? You see, you know that it's our thoughts that drive our feelings, and it's our feelings that drive our behaviour, and it's our behaviour that drives our results. So don't we owe it to ourselves to think about the way we think? That's the first thing I'd like to share with you. The second thing is this. Who's been to Disney? Anybody over here, Disney? A few Disneys? Wow, I love it. If you learn nothing else from me today, you have to go to Disney. You have to go. It's the happiest place on earth. It really is. But I first went, I took my son, as I say, he's all grown up now. I took him when he was 5 years old. And this was a long time ago. It was at the time when, have you heard of a character called Buzz Lightyear? Anybody like Buzz, or is that just me? Well, my son, when he was 5 years old, he loved Buzz Lightyear. I think Buzz Lightyear just arrived on the planet at that time, and he was all the rage. So my son was just obsessed with Buzz Lightyear. He wanted to be Buzz. And when we went to Disney, we went to Orlando in Florida. They had this ride, a Buzz Lightyear ride. Has anybody been on that? Isn't it cool? Well, my son, because he was such a fan of Buzz Lightyear, he wanted to go on this ride. So we went. We took him on this ride. If you remember, it's like this capsule, this space capsule. Do you remember with these laser guns? And it's spinning 360, and you have to sort of shoot these targets, and you score points. Do you remember? Well, can you imagine my son, 5 years old, really excited, his hero, Buzz Lightyear. He got in this ride, and he span round and round and round, but he didn't do very well. He didn't score very highly, and he was really sad, he was really upset, he was really disappointed, because he had convinced himself that he was as good as Buzz Lightyear, and that he was going to shoot all these targets and score well, but he didn't. That's a horrible feeling, do you think, for a young boy? So you know what we did? My wife and I, his mum and I, we took him back onto the ride. Again, and again, and again, and again. We probably spent the whole morning on that Buzz Lightyear ride so that Reese could master that ride. And by the time we finished, he had one of the highest scores of that day. He was invincible. He was unstoppable. He felt like Buzz Lightyear. Anybody ever felt like Buzz Lightyear? Great. Keep that feeling with you. Keep it throughout the summer when you break up, and keep it for the rest of your lives. Talking about Buzz, that was a challenge for my son. He was a 5-year-old boy. I learned a lot from that. And throughout my life, as you will see, and you've already had them, we all have challenges. They're coming at us just about every day. And we have to face those challenges. And that's why you've got these incredible values that come their way to help you. I want to share with you a challenge that somebody gave me recently. But to demonstrate it, I need some help. Mr. Jones, I need 3 brave souls teachers and 3 brave souls boys. Any ideas? Volunteers. If you could come, that's it. Have we got 3 teachers as well? Okay. I'm going to give you each a piece of rope. Ah, we're missing something. Piece of rope. Have you seen this trick before? There you go. Are you sure you're up for this? Did you volunteer or were you picked?
Selected volunteer.
Selected.
Turn them around so we can see them.
Yeah. Right, if you could turn round, because I believe... Has everybody got a piece of rope? Here's your challenge. Right, here's their challenge. Teacher, could you do me a favour and stand over here, please? Do you mind? Because we're going to have a bit of a competition in a minute. Let's have a little bit of a gap so we can tell the teachers from the boys, can we? Just to be clear. Right, here's the challenge. This is going to be a bit difficult because we've got cameras. What I want you to do in a moment is I want you to hold the rope like this. They're going to hold the rope like this. Yeah? Their job is to try to tie a knot in the middle of this rope, but without releasing either side of the rope. So they can't put it down, drop it, or anything like that. They have to hold onto the rope and tie a knot in the middle of it. If it doesn't get stuck on their watch, like that. Did you see that? Did you see that? Pay attention. Don't these teachers pay attention? Okay. No. Let me demonstrate. Watch carefully. Okay? The rope. Are you following me? Drop it. Da-da. Everybody got that? Your turn. There you go. So, hang on. Before they do this, let's have a competition. Teachers versus the boys. The first person is going to be the winning team. So, even if one of them gets it, it's the winning team. Who do you think is going to win? The teachers or the boys? Okay, come on. Come on, hands up. What about the teachers? Hands up for the teachers. So 6 people think the teacher's going to win. It's all yours. Wow! Congratulations. How are you getting on, boys? No? Okay, let me teach you. We haven't got long to do this. Let me teach you, all right? Watch carefully. Excuse me, teachers.
Sorry. Let's do it.
Just can't get the staff, can you? Okay. Watching? So, make a fish. Can you see my fish? Yeah? So I've taken my right hand, put it over my left hand, you make the shape of a fish. Can everybody see that? Can you see my fish? Yeah? Take the bottom part of the tail. Got that? Poke the fish in the eye. Just poke him in the eye. Pull it through the top of his head. Top of his head. And then pull it tight. Got it? And then you're up with one of these like cradle looking things. You take one of these fingers, preferably the middle finger, hold the piece of rope on the right nearest to your thumb. Is everybody following along?
No, not at all.
Because if you're going to be trying this at home, you can do this at home. You just need a piece of rope. So finger, middle finger, got it? On this piece of rope, got it?
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah? And then you're going to go 1, 2, 3, you're going to drop it, pull it, and you'll find a magic knot. Da-da. Got it? Got it? Well done! Anybody? Got it?
Yeah.
Got it?
Got it.
The point is, if we spend another 10 minutes, 20 minutes, I don't know how long it will take, I can guarantee you that each and every one of you, you'd be masters at this, you'd be experts at this. But the point is you'd have to want to do it. If you, in the audience, or you at home, if you're watching this at home, said, well, that's all well and good, Boris, but that's just a stupid magic trick. I'm not really interested in that. You will never do it, because that's your mindset, isn't it? If you said, you know what, whether it's a trick, doesn't matter what it is, I want to learn to do that. When somebody gave me this trick a while ago, I couldn't do it. I struggled. I really struggled. It felt impossible at the time. But I made a decision, just a personal decision, that I wanted to learn to do it. And I practiced and I practiced and I practiced. Do you remember my son in Buzz Lightyear? I did this with a silly piece of rope because I made a decision that I wanted to do it. And I was going to focus on doing it at the exclusion of all other distractions. Repetition, together with reflection, is the mother of learning. Repetition, together with reflection, is the mother of learning. That's what you guys are teaching all day long, I'm sure. Want to have one last try? Would you like to demonstrate? Okay. Got it? Right. Make a fish. I know this is hard. Most people can't do this. So I think she's just showing off. I don't know. Maybe she watched it on YouTube. Right. Make a fish. Got the fish. Bottom end of the tail. Poke him in the eye. Pull it through the top of his head. Everybody with me so far? Got it? It's got a shape like that. Something like that. Yeah? Middle finger. See the middle finger? Hold the bottom end of the rope. And 1, 2, 3. You've got to release the thumb on the right finger. Release the thumb. So you're still holding on. You're holding on to the rope here, but you're releasing the thumb. Drop, pull.
What's wrong with my rope?
I think we've got dodgy ropes. Now, if you really, really want to learn how to do this, you might think, well, I'm not interested in that. But if you want to learn how to do this, find Mrs. Sullivan. She mastered that. She'll teach you how to, or Mr. Bennett, I believe, knows. And Miss Edwards, I think. Before you go, I want you to give them a round of applause, please, because that isn't easy. You get to keep the ropes. You get to keep the ropes. It's a little gift for you. I know it might be a bit old for you, but just to remember, never give up. Buzz Lightyear. I'm not giving you a Buzz Lightyear. I have another gift for you. This is a phone. Don't worry, it's not a real phone. It's just a notebook. And you think, I'd rather have the phone than Buzz Lightyear. Yeah. Okay. You can make a swap with the boys. Thank you. You can keep the rope. Keep the rope. It's not easy to do. It takes courage to come up and do something like that. So I think they've demonstrated one of your values already. Repetition, together with reflection, is the mother of learning. All of you should have a piece of paper with a pencil. Am I right? Okay, why don't you take your pencil and paper out, please? And what I'd like to do, I'm hoping that there's a teacher in each row here, somewhere. Is there? If one teacher could stand up, anybody, in each row. One teacher in each row. What about over here? We got any teachers there? I want somebody to stand up, because boys, wherever you are, your job is to look at these adults standing up, look at these teachers, and I want you to draw them. Draw what you see. Draw them. I'm only going to give you a minute, so make it quick. Draw them. Draw what you see. And be nice, because afterwards I'm going to ask you to... You haven't got paper? Ah, Mr. Jones, they haven't got paper. No paper? We've run out. Ah. I'm sorry if you haven't got paper. We're going to give you another 20 seconds. Just draw what you see. But be nice, because afterwards, at the end of this session, you're going to be giving that piece of paper as a gift to the teachers, so they get to take them home to show their families what you see. I'm going to count to 10, then we're going to wrap it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Time out, time out. Teachers, if you could sit down for me, please. Now, if I could get your attention back, please. I don't know how that worked for you, but I'm guessing that a lot of you probably went into quite some detail. You drew beards and glasses and colour of the hair, and you did all sorts of different things there. But you probably, most of you, just drew a face, 2 eyes, a nose, a mouth, perhaps a body, maybe a bit of hair. Not for me, I know. Did you do that? I asked you to draw what you see. And that's a bit of fun. But isn't it interesting? What we see is just what we see. And you might think, well, hang on, of course. What a stupid thing to say. But there's so much more. Because think about these teachers. If we were to get each of you to do it, to draw each other, it would be the same. You would draw what you see. But there's so much more. What you don't see are all the hopes, all the dreams, all the fears, all the worries, all the aspirations, all the achievements, all the stuff that they've been through to get to where they are, whether you're a boy or a teacher, to be sitting in this church, this incredible church today. We can't draw that, can we? We just draw what we see. But there's so much more, don't you think? So when we look at people, we have to look with a different pair of eyes. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. That's one of my favourite quotes from the late Dr. Wayne Dyer. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. You see, when I started thinking about us, human beings, doesn't matter how old we are or what we look like. I wrote a book, by the way, just a bit of advertising here, a few years ago. But there's a piece I wrote about us, just from a physical perspective. I don't know if you know this. Bear with me. Our heart beats around 100,000 times a day, every day. Did you know that? Who said yes? I went to the wrong school. Our blood is on a 60,000-mile journey every single day. Who knew that? Same people. Our eyes can distinguish up to 1 million colour surfaces and take in more information than the largest telescope known to man. Did you know that? I'm going to stop asking. Our hearing is so sensitive it can distinguish between hundreds of thousands of different sounds. Our sense of touch is more refined than any device ever created. Our brain is more complex than the most powerful computer on Earth, and it has over 100 billion, not million, over 100 billion nerve cells. We give birth to 100 billion red blood cells every day. We have over 600 muscles. We exercise at least 30 muscles when we smile. We make 1 litre of saliva every day. And it goes on and on. There are 45 miles of nerves in the skin of a human being. Our brain generates more electrical impulses in a single day than all of the world's telephones put together. This is you and I. This is every single person in this church. And that's just scratching the surface. I could go on and on and on. I could write a whole book. I could talk for hours about how incredible we are. Did you know how incredible you are? You didn't know? That's one of the things I want you to stop and think about. When you do that, when you think 15 seconds, 4 times a day, think about how incredible you are. That's just the basis of a human being. That's physiologically. What about all the other stuff that we can't see? When you know that, it's hard, really hard, if not impossible, to not be in love with yourself. Because we're amazing creatures. You know, there was a playwright, his name was Archibald MacLeish, that said, the only thing about a man, I don't know why he didn't say woman as well, so forgive me for that, but this is what he said, the only thing about a man that makes him a man is his mind. Everything else you can find in a pig or a horse. What a horrible thing to say, but we're incredible, aren't we? So when you're feeling confused or worried or upset or doubtful or anything like that, just remind yourself how incredible you truly are. You still got your pieces of paper? I apologise for those of you who don't have paper, but you could do this exercise another time. I'm sure the teachers will let you. On the other side of that piece of paper, here's something else I want you to do. One of the richest people on the earth, still today, is a chap called Bill Gates. Anybody heard of him? He's not the richest. He used to be. He's not the richest. I think he's about fourth. When I looked last night, he was worth something like $125 billion. Now, that's not enough to live on, is it? But it's not a bad start. $125 billion. So I want you to use your imagination. This is tough, because you really need to stretch your minds here. Use your imagination. Let your minds go crazy. I want you to imagine this. I want you to imagine that Bill Gates and I are best friends. I know, it's a stretch. I'd love it. But just imagine we're best buddies. And Bill Gates, he heard about the Cumnor Way. And he was so impressed with the Cumnor Way and the work you guys are doing. So he said, Maurice, when you go to meet these guys on their speech day, I want you to give them a gift. All of these boys. You're using your imagination there, right? I want you to take them out and they can buy anything they want. I have all the money that you need on this planet to get anything you want. No holds barred. He said, the only thing that's going to hold you back in terms of what you spend my money on is your imagination. If you can imagine it, if you can conceive it, I'm the one person on the planet that has the money to at least try to get it for you. It may not even exist on the planet. You might say you want a time machine, or you want a superpower, or you want an island or a jet. I don't know. But what I want you to do is to write down on the piece of paper on the other side what you want. You've got money is not an object, right? If you've spent his $125 billion, he's got rich friends. He can go and get more. So forget about the money. You can have anything you want, even if it doesn't exist. What are you going to have? Write it down, please. You've got 30 seconds to write down what you're going to have. Anything you want. Don't be shy. When was the last time somebody gave you $125 billion minimum to spend? It may not happen again soon. Take advantage of it. I'm going to come over here quickly. Has anybody got anything written down over here? What are you going to buy? Tell me. Nintendo Switch. Anything? Anybody over here? What are you going to buy? Sonic. Over there? A million Sonics. The boy at the back. A mansion. Oh my God. Well, what about over here? Anybody? Just a couple. What are you going to buy? A Porsche. What colour? White Porsche. With the glasses. PS5. You'd like to buy yourself another $1 million. I like it. Let's come over here quickly. Couple over here. What are you going to buy? A private jet. Just for you. And your family. Are you going to go to Disney? Let's come over here. Sorry, I haven't got much time for this. Yeah. Whole world. Just buy the whole world. What about over here? Okay. Oh my word. You see, we could play this game all day. If I spend a bit more time with you, I haven't got the time, apologies, but if I spend a bit more time, You come up with some crazy things. We've got some brilliant things here. But here's the question. It's a big question. It's a really big question. You're probably never going to be asked a more important question than this in your life. Why do you want it? Why do you want the rocket? Why do you want the mansion? Why do you want the PS5, the Nintendo Switch? Why do you want these things? It's not within my gift to open up a long discussion with you, but if we did, we could spend a lot of time talking about this. I do this exercise in workshops with a lot of adults, and it becomes a very interesting conversation. But I want to wrap it up for you. It's just a view. It's just my view. I believe that any of us on this planet, 7.5 billion of us, the only reason we'd write anything down on any piece of paper that we want is for one reason. And that reason is so that we can feel something. It's so that we can feel something. You see, we're emotional beings. We get to feel. It's the gift of life. We get to feel. And we all want to feel different things, and it changes day to day. You might want to feel happiness, excitement, love, joy, peace, security. The list goes on and on and on. It's the joy of being where we are, who we are. We get to feel. So think about that as well during one of those 15 seconds. What are you feeling? How do you make other people feel? You see, everything you say, everything you do makes you feel something, and it makes somebody next to you feel something. Whoever you're playing with, working with. Feelings. It's everything, isn't it? I love this exercise. We can write down all these things, but when you boil it down, that's what we want. So think about, why do you want what you want? How is it going to make you feel? How are you thinking about what you're thinking to get what you want? And when you're thinking about what you want, I just want to share this idea with you. If I was, I know there is no such thing, so forgive me, but if I was, or there were such a thing as a president of the world, I know we don't have a president of the world. We have prime ministers and presidents and kings and queens, but imagine we had a president of the world. If that was me, I would ban 2 words. I'd make sure these 2 words are stricken from the English language, any language, that nobody was ever allowed to say them. You know what those words are? Those words are yes, but. Yes, but. Because one of the things I've learned through my journey through life so far, and I've still got a lot to learn, is that, we can have a dream or a goal or an idea or a passion or something we want to do, something we want to have, something we want to be, something we want to achieve. But then often, these words, yes, but, come out. Have you ever heard that? Yes, but, I'm too small. Yes, but, I'm too big. Yes, but, I'm not old enough. Yes, but, I'm not fast enough. Yes, but, I'm not clever enough. Yes, but, yes, but, yes, but. And then we step back into safety. And nothing changes. Don't use the words yes, but. Use yes, and. Now, I'm not saying you say yes to everything, because some ideas are stupid, agree? Sorry, silly. Silly? Some ideas are silly. But you say yes, and. Let me think about that. Let me explore it. Let me see, is it possible? Could I be, do, or have such a thing? Explore it. Get rid of the words yes, but. I have a ball that can help me. I have a gift for you at the end of the day. They're in bags here. The teachers will hand them out for you. It's a stress ball. And on it are the words yes, but, with a line through it. When you have an idea or a dream or a goal or something that you want to achieve, it doesn't matter how small or how big it is, if you feel those words yes, but, coming on, I want you to take your ball out and squeeze it. This is a stress ball. It's lovely to squeeze, and you can take all your frustration, all your tension, take it out on the... Don't say yes, but. Get rid of the yes, but in this ball. Get rid of that. And say yes, and. Yes, and. I can be Buzz Lightyear. I can tie that knot in that rope. So this will be a gift for you to take with you. And in closing, I'd like to leave you with one final thought. The final thought is this. Anybody been following the football? Nobody? No. Yeah. So have I. So I believe in the power of collective thought. The power of collective thought. So here's what I want you to do before I finish. I want you to close your eyes. Again. Just close your eyes. This is very brief. And I want you to send to the England team, the England squad, for tomorrow night and for the rest of the tournament, I want you to send them the Cumnor way. Courage, compassion, belief, endeavour, and integrity. Send that to them in your mind. Each and every one of those guys. You done it? Okay. So all that remains to be said, and then I'll hand you back to Miss Edwards, is football's coming home.